So you've made a nice product, you're super proud of yourself. Looks great, you got ready, you posted it online for sale, but you're not getting any sales. So maybe, just maybe, your photos are crap. And I mean like crap. Like poo. Like it smells bad. You can pretty something up, put some paint on it, make it look great. But if your photo looks like crap, you're not gonna get any sales. So let's talk product photography. Photos are so important, guys, like so important. Like, I cannot stress enough. You literally have a millisecond when someone's scrolling past an ad or a product listing to catch their attention. And if your photo looks like donkey puke, well, they're just gonna keep scrolling by because nobody likes donkey puke. I don't know why I said donkey puke, but it's gross. I imagine. I've never seen donkey puke, but it's probably gross. I don't like donkeys at all. I had a bad experience. But anyways, product photography, so important. One of the most common things I see when people are struggling with sales is their product photos. They're just really not up to par. So let me give you guys some tips that can hopefully help. You can take what I say and experiment and probably even get better. So I am by no means a professional photographer. Those guys are like masters of their craft and it takes years to develop those skills. So what I'm doing here is like a low budget DIY home version, but you can absolutely use these tips and create great photos for your product listings. So I'm just gonna use my iPhone camera. Phone cameras today are absolutely great. There's no need to go buy expensive equipment for what we're doing here, which is just the DIY home version. So let's get at it. Number one, backgrounds. I have literally seen people stick their product on dusty old couches, beds, countertops, all sorts of things that just don't look great. So choosing a great background is the crucial first step. I've got the Replica Surfaces Studio with a few boards and I plan on buying more. They completely changed the game for me. You can get them in a wide variety of styles, you can get the studio like I have, or just get the stands and a couple boards. Or you could even start with one single board to just do flat lie images. They literally take your home product photography to another level. Full disclaimer, I was a happy customer first, but I'm now a Replica Surfaces affiliate. So if you use my link below, I'm gonna make just a little bit of money. So if you guys wanna buy, I'd really appreciate it if you use my link and I can have a little bit of cha-ching. Some other options you guys can use for backgrounds is your wood deck outside, which is what I used to use. It gives a nice rustic feel and it just worked really well for me. But if you're shooting outside, you've got to remember, don't take your photos in direct sunlight. I'll explain lighting a bit later. You could also put together some boards to create a backing or a repurposed palette. A brick wall can work. You could use an old table, just anything. Maybe some self-adhesive wallpaper on a piece of plywood. Just DIY your own way to something beautiful. Just make sure your background is great and that the color allows your product to really stand out. You don't want a background that's too busy. Anything that detracts from the product is bad. Simple backgrounds that accentuate the hero shot, which is your product, that's what we're going for here. Number two, staging. Now that's my other kind of staging. I like to keep my product photography staging really simple. I love to have my product be the hero. Too many props makes it just really busy and what you're trying to sell gets lost. So the whole idea here is simplicity. Accent your product and draw the eye to it. A great rule of thumb is you can use the diagonal composition. Basically, all that means is you're drawing the eye from the top left to the bottom right. But your hero shot is right smack dab in the middle and it gets all the attention. So what you want to do in this technique is have a small prop in the top right corner. Then you have your product, and then you put a smaller prop to the bottom right. It's simple, it works. Number three, lighting. This one's so important, guys. Natural lighting is a photographer's best friend. Take your photos in front of a window, but never in direct sunlight. Direct sunlight is for tanning, not product photography. It causes hard shadows that can really take away from the photo and even black out some of the nice details of your product. We want to go with soft shadows. The softer the better for my liking. So whether you're indoors or outdoors, stay away from direct sunlight. There's a reason that photographers love overcast days. The clouds act as a perfect light diffuser, but we can't always wait for overcast days. So take the photo near a window in your house that doesn't have direct sunlight. The sun rises and sets east to west. So if you have a north or south facing window, that's perfect. If not, you'll just have to wait for the perfect time of day to take your photos like I do. Now, you'll want to set up your backer and product so the light is coming in from the side. This usually has the best effects for the final photo. It also allows us to use a whiteboard as a reflector to soften the shadows even more. Remember that tip. You can play around with a whiteboard to reflect light back and soften the shadows. Another great tip if you're finding that the light and the shadows are still too hard is put up a white sheet on the window. It acts as a light diffuser, just like the clouds do. So you know what guys, just give this a shot. Move your board around. You can try different angles of the board. I like to use the side lighting, but you can move it around, try different things. You'll get different effects. So give it a shot. Come up with something you love. Another thing I want to touch on is using my Lightbox. I love using my Lightbox for smaller things like ornaments or jewelry. So I got this thing off of Amazon. So I'll put a link in the description below for you if you want. It folds away, but I generally leave it open and ready to go down here. I also made this little thing that has a hole in it just so I can set it on top and put my camera on it, and I get perfectly straight photos all the time. So I just stick my phone on top and I get a nice straight shot. The Lightbox is pretty self-explanatory. Turn it on, put your products in, maybe put a couple little props in, bada boom, bada bing, take a shot, you're done. But I don't always like the look of the photos sometimes, so I do tend to default to the replica surfaces board and natural lighting. Number 4, take in the photos. If you're taking a photo of a flat lie product, get right over top of it and make it as straight as you can. Also, keep in mind the angle of your phone. If your phone is tilted, the photo will look skewed and out of perspective. Let me show you. See how when I move it around, the product gets skewed? We're looking for a nice straight shot. If you want to avoid freehanding it, you can get a tripod like I have here. It's got an extendable arm and I can use a phone attachment for it and extend the arm out directly over top of it. I'll put a link to this in the description as well. Same goes for the standing product using 2 backboards. If I'm going for a nice straight on shot, then really try and make it straight. It just looks more professional. You can freehand it or use the tripod, just make sure you get great shots. Another thing is to move your camera around, take different angles, different shots. These can really be some powerful photos for your products. Lastly, take lots of photos. We live in a digital age, guys, so you're not going to be wasting film. Just take as many photos as you can because you'd be surprised at which photos at the end of the day that you're going to choose. So take lots of photos, go through them after, pick the ones you like the best, and there you go. Number 5, photo editing. Remember, this is Darryl's low budget tips, so I'm not gonna make you go out and get some professional photo editing software, but there's some great filters out there that you can add vivid effects to your photos to really make them pop. For me, I actually use this simple one built into my iPhone called Vivid. Sometimes I just leave it at that, but another great option is to use Adobe Lightroom. It's free, you get to adjust your highlights, shadows, exposure, and so much more. There's even some great tutorials in the apps to take your photo taking skills to the next level. So give it a try. Hopefully you guys found some of this helpful and it can improve your photo taking skills so you can get some products out there and make some sales. So give me a subscribe, give me a like, comment. I'll keep making videos. Love ya.